Good morning. Greetings again, and thanks for joining me on my commute into UPS this morning. It is 4:07 a.m. My shift today starts at 4:45 a.m. So I wanted to just give an update. I'm in week two, near the end of week two, as a UPS package handler as a side hustle. Again, if you're not familiar, I have a very good full-time job, and I am looking at opportunities to kind of get paid to do a morning workout, make a little extra money, and also have something to do that does not affect my really my family life and that kind of thing. When I go from UPS to my full-time job and then get home in the afternoon, I'm home and I'm done with not just one job but two for the day. So going through my experience into week two, all of the videos I've made so far have where I've talked about the work. It's been about loading the normal UPS box trucks that have shelving down the sides, and there's a numbering system. And for the last few days, I actually got pulled over to load a bulk, like, semi-trailer. This is a delivery truck where most of the stops, nearly all of the stops actually, have somewhere between 10 and 100 packages per stop. So they're stopping usually at businesses and that kind of thing, dropping off large stock inventory um, and other items. So that's been interesting. It has been very hard work. It's moving larger and often heavier, bigger boxes. Has been very hard work, but I've really enjoyed it. I've had help from the people around me. That is one thing I will say, is the people around you on the conveyor are generally very gracious in helping you out, depending on what the situation is. If all of a sudden there's several boxes coming down the conveyor that are going to be for one truck, people will generally pitch in and help grab those. So the main thing I wanted to talk about, just to give an update on, is scheduling and hours. So in the first week, I actually ended up with very, very few working hours. Just as a very quick recap, the first day we came in and did a tour, I got no hours for that. The second day, we did watched an orientation video and had a quick a kind of group discussion with one of the supervisors. I got a very small amount of hours for that. Wednesday, or day three, I guess, which would have been Thursday, I went in and got sent home because they did not have enough trainers. Day four, I worked a normal day. And then day five, which was Saturday, they sent us home early because there was not enough volume. So they sent all the people in training home after a couple of hours. So I ended up with less than 10 hours the first week. That will definitely change going forward. And then my schedule for week two, and you do know your schedule a full week in advance, but my schedule for week two has been Tuesday and Wednesday I come in at 3:45, Thursday and Friday come in at 4:15, and Saturday come in at 4:45. So this, again, the schedule does adjust on the starting time so that you're always ending near the same time on the end. With that said, my schedule I signed up for is 3:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And every day this week, we have gotten out after 8:30 a.m. And I say that just because it may impact you depending on if you're going straight from this to something else. If it's something else that starts around 9 a.m., you may need to work for some flexibility there, just because I would say most days, or every day this week, I think I've gotten out between 8:45 and 9 a.m. You do get paid overtime for anything over 5 hours in one day. It's not a weekly total, but a daily amount overtime after 5 hours in a day. Another thing, just from talking to people around there, that I've learned is during peak season, that start time can get very early. I've heard people mention as early as midnight that you may be asked to come in for a shift that ends at around 8:30 to 9 a.m. So that would be a lot of hours, obviously, and working two jobs that's back to back. That's going to require probably a little bit of flexibility. I may take a little bit of time off at my other job to make that work, but it is interesting to hear and have some expectations about what the peak season will be like in order to get all of the work done. So I should have a full week this week, and then I want to do a quick overview video, maybe my next video, on how the first sort of payroll works out, what to expect there. We do get paid every Friday, but I will give some more details in the next video. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them in the section below. I will get back to those within a few days. And if anybody else is going through this, is starting this job, I would be really interested to hear what your experience is like. Obviously, I work at a specific loading facility in Indiana, but I'm curious if others are very different, or if others around the country kind of feel like what I'm seeing with low communication, persevere through the first few days, and then kind of get into the swing of things. So let me know, and I will be back in another day or two with another update, and I'm going to try to focus on the first payroll and any items around that. So have a good one.